passion and commitment for a better Nigeria uses tribe as their own certificate for competition. So if they say, oh, we won't vote for Peter Obi, he said they are against voting for Igbos. I said before, do not vote for me because I'm from the southeast. Do not vote for me because I'm a Christian. Vote for me because I'm committed to turn around Nigeria. I just I'll do it. And I'll start from the north.
On that note, you can land.
I'll start from the north.
Okay.
Because I know where the problem is. I'll start bringing back all those productivity that made it for the north to be safe.
Right. Okay.
And move it to the south. We'll cover everywhere. We need to do it. That's why I keep saying we move the country from consumption to production, from sharing the wealth to creating the wealth. When you start creating the wealth, people will see it. You build a society where people start work, talent will match up the opportunity. Where a child of nobody can be somebody without knowing anybody. Just you lived in England. Nobody knew your father when they gave you a job. We have to stop people scrambling first class in a restaurant. I went to eat in Abuja the other day. In a small restaurant, the person that served me had a first class. What a country is that? We must stop that.
On that note, I want to thank you exceedingly for taking the time to talk to us today and for joining us exclusively. The former governor of Anambra State and former 2023 presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Completely. 100%.
You don't agree with those who say that it is purely and it could potentially be an issue of institutional overreach on the part of INEC, because it doesn't, even if INEC does that, it doesn't necessarily involve the government itself.
No, somebody's pushing them to do that.
But do you have any clarity on that? Supported with evidence?
Well, I've said it what I said. Everybody knows. I just gave you an example that when we had a problem in Africa, President Yar'Adua decided, I don't want this. Even when the case was in court. And that was the end of it. A government that wants progress will support strong opposition. Because it's critical.
So despite the warnings from INEC, the ADC is going ahead with its national convention, the April the 14th, Tuesday, which is tomorrow, amidst all the internal leadership disputes within the ADC?
Because we believe that what they did is wrong.
So will you attend that convention?
Definitely, I'll be there.
Right. Are you confident that a convention held under these conditions will produce legitimate outcomes, or are you building on uncertain legal ground?
Well, Charles, I'll be there tomorrow. I will ensure that that convention, which started with the Congress, comes to a conclusion.
Right. So are you, if INEC, for instance, ultimately refuses to recognize the outcome of that convention, will you accept that the process was flawed, or will you challenge the commission head on? Which way would you be prepared to go?
Let's see what happens when they take their decision.
Right.
Then we'll know.
Because you're hoping that the Supreme Court will rule in your favor.
Well, let's see what happens.
Right.
These days, you can't say nobody plays by the rules now. So you can't be sure of what is going to happen.
I'm wondering what impact that might have on your own political sort of...
Charles, it's not about me. It's not about the individual.
No, I understand that.
No, it's not about me. It's not about anybody.
Yeah, but
it's about the integrity of our democratic process.
Indeed.
It's about society. It's about building better society for us and our children.
Right.
So it has nothing to do with me personally.
But we're all individuals within society. And the whole point of society and the democracy and so on is that it allows people to freely pursue their ambitions and their dreams and their careers. What would happen to your own if the ADC is...
Charles, I've never done things or pursued everything, believe in my own ambition or just for me to be true, but I do it believing that it will help to build a better society. And if whatever they do, whatever they're doing is destroying the fabric, the foundation which we need for a better society.
What I find interesting and almost astonishing is that in spite of all these problems that the ADC appears to be having, many people are still joining the party.
Yes, because they know that what you're saying or what INEC is doing is wrong. We have said we want all oppositions to come together to build one strong coalition that will be able, because election in 2027 will be the government in power versus the people. So we are now coming to stand for the people.
You're claiming that mantle of standing for the people.
Yes.
Because I mean, you know, it's difficult for the people. I mean, it's one thing to say you're standing for the people, but are the people standing for you? Because if you can't settle problems within your own party, it's going to be difficult to convince people to align themselves with you.
Charles, the problem within ADC or other political parties are problems instigated, supervised, and controlled from external forces, which is government, deliberately to destroy them, investing heavily in it. There's nothing like having, I've heard this several times, people say, oh, if you can't control your house, if you can't control this, if you can't control your party, you can. No. When those problems are externally instigated, supervised, and controlled, essentially in a transitional country like Nigeria, where you know that everybody can be bought over or paid.
Except you?
Well, I would say except me. There are other people.
Because what I'm saying, that sounds like you're, as they say, up the creek without a paddle. Because, I mean, what you're essentially saying is that we're in an impossible situation. You're in an impossible situation. Because you're never going to get if the people that you've got together with are all people who potentially can be bought over.
Not all.
Have no principles and have no ideology that they're fastidious with. I mean, it just sounds like you're fighting a losing battle.
No, Charles, that's what we are. That is exactly what I'm fighting. And there's a number of people with me who are fighting the same cause. We must dismantle this criminality that exists today.
But how are you doing that? Because I mentioned earlier about this issue of primaries. Let me return to something related to that as well, because you yourself have moved across parties, from the PDP to the Labour Party, and now you're aligning with the ADC. Why should Nigerians trust your long-term commitment when it appears you leave parties rather than stay to fix the problems within them?
Let me even tell you, you're even wrong. I moved from ABGA.
Yes, you moved from ABGA to
PDP.
The PDP, then Labour.
I moved from ABGA to the PDP because I had what I can call disagreement or issues with my successor, the governor who came after me. And now I allow it to become toxic and become destructive to his governance of the state, I moved out. In PDP, I said it before, people were not playing by the rules. It was transactional. I cannot be part of transactional primary. I cannot be paying people to go and serve them.
And yet the same
so
people...
I moved...
The same people that you were
I
with,
moved
right,
to Labour. And of course, like I said, government came into the same system, which is very clear. You just said about INEC said they're being court order. We got in Labour Party, Supreme Court decided a case in April. INEC did not recognize that judgment until 7th of January, 8 months after, because of the same process. You even see people who will be on the rooftop shouting and say, if Peter Obi cannot fix the problem in Labour, because they put fire in the house, and they were shocked that I was able to escape. So they thought I would be there for the fire to burn me. When I now escaped, they said, oh, if he cannot stay and put up the fire, which they put, and then I left. I'm in ADC with the same people.
Yeah, the same transactional people you talked about from the PDP.
Charles, I'm in ADC with the same people, some of whom are left in PDP and other parties. But we are going through the same process. If that process is again compromised, I will speak out.
Right, okay. But
what is important is not what people are yesterday.
Right.
It's what they are today. Because they've seen where the country is going, and they can decide, no, we are not making sacrifice.
Right.
We will no longer go back to what we used to.
Indeed. I understand the logic of the point.